Hey guys, okay, working on this 1991 Dodge Dakota today. Going to be replacing the water pump on it. I've got a pretty bad leak coming out of the bottom of the water pump, so probably just is the gasket. I mean, this water pump's been in there for quite a while. I want to say over 100,000 kilometers. So usually they recommend replacing them at 90,000. So anyway, I just went and bought the whole thing. We're just going to do the whole thing, whether it's the gasket or not. So I'll walk you through that. This is the new one. So this is the 318 engine, 5.2 liter in this Dodge Dakota V8. There's the part number for the water pump. I got it from a company called Parts Avatar in Toronto, Canada. So you got your gasket, and there's the water pump there. So it's kind of what it looks like. It's got the little threaded outlet right here for your heater. It's got this outlet here, and the lower rad hose goes on there. I also went ahead and picked up a lower rad hose. I just figured might as well replace that while I'm in there. So all I'm doing right now is just draining the coolant into this container, and I'm draining the coolant out of the radiator little drain valve here. I don't know if you can see it. Anyway, there's a little valve right on the bottom of the radiator. You just turn it and it comes in, the coolant will come out the bottom. So I'm going to drain that. And while that's draining, I'm going to get in here and I'm going to remove the fan with those bolts right there and the fan shroud. So let's get into that. Okay, so I'm first going to remove this coolant overflow bottle. It just pops off the side of the fan shroud. Just slides directly up, and then you just unscrew this hose clamp and pull that off. Get this out of our way anyway. Okay, next thing is this fan shroud. You probably don't need to remove it, but it just makes your life a lot easier if you do. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts holding it on, and they are 3/8. Okay, the fan bolts here are 1/2 inch. Okay, so I got the ones loose. Now I'm going to remove the belt right now. So to remove the belt, you just push this tensioner down. Slip your belt off. Okay, now this can spin freely and I can get to all the bolts. Okay, so I'm just going to remove the hose clamp on the lower rad hose on the bottom here. And I'm going to go ahead and remove the one on the water pump. go. Next I'm going to loosen this little rad hose that goes from the engine to the top of the water pump. And we're going to disconnect this hose going to our heater. And 9/16 to start taking off the pump bolts. Okay, so with this pump you actually need to reuse this piece here. So we'll just put it in the vise. I'm just using this pipe wrench, but you can also put a really big flathead in there. And I'm just going to use some pipe sealant. You can use Teflon tape to install it onto this new one. Oh, another thing I wanted to show you with the old one. I don't know what's causing it, but there's some scraping where the impeller is actually hitting the casing, so that's probably not good. This one's just smooth. Just using some pipe dope. It doesn't have to be like crazy tight because you don't want to crack the casting. Just snug. Let the sealant do its job. Okay. Okay guys, we're going to put this gasket maker on, just ultra black Permatex, high flexibility, oil resistance. So it has a gasket, but this is just a little bit of extra insurance. So I'm just going to put a very small bead all the way around, and then we'll lay the gasket on, then we'll put another bead on the gasket. A little bit right there. Okay, so we got our surface nice and clean. We get 2 bolts ready. We've got to slip it onto, actually I got to get my hose clamp on that. So what we'll do is we'll tighten these down hand tight. And then we'll let the gasket maker sit for about an hour. And then we'll torque it down to 30 foot-pounds. Okay, so it's been an hour. We're going to torque down our bolts to 30 foot-pounds. Okay, put our idler on and back on. Okay, we're going to put our shroud back in as we put in the fan. Forget to put our pulley on. Put our shroud bolts back in. And we'll put our belt back on. This is the belt routing right here. Just going to give our bolts on our fan one more tighten. Put our overflow tank back on. Hose clamp. Okay guys, so I let the sealant harden there. We're going to fill the coolant up here. Prestone 50/50. You can hear it filling up the water pump area. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start it up, let it run for a little bit, and then we'll put some more in. I'll just throw a little bit more in. And then I'm going to take it for a drive so that the thermostat opens back up. And then I'll add more. So I always carry a bottle, maybe 2 bottles with me for the first couple miles. And just monitor your temperature, engine temperature, monitor for any like metal sounds, leaking, that type of thing. But other than that, you're good to go.